the way I see it is, if there will be people that will be buying books, then there will be publishers that will be making money from the books. My time was directly linked. If I didn't make calls, I didn't make money. But now, as I'm taking this walk, people are buying my books, and when we're sleeping, people are buying our books. If you're doing self-publishing, then you already won. And in this video, I will tell you why. As you know, I started self-publishing 8 years ago. And one thing that I've realized in the last couple of years is that I've started taking things for granted. I've started taking publishing and what it provides for granted. However, this last year, I've been helping my friend. Maybe you've seen the interview. If you haven't, I recommend you watch it after this one. But I've realized that self-publishing provides so many opportunities that is hard to find in other places. For example, if you know my story, then you know I started a web shop, the first thing I did, and I had issues with customers not paying the bills. I had issues with the shipping. Look at this. And I also had issues with pricing. For example, I didn't have good margins on the products, but with the books we get 70% on the ebooks, and with the paperbacks we get around 50-60%, I think. So it's a lot better in that regard, and we don't need to pay for the shipping or anything like that. And for my friend, I'm sometimes taken back, but then I get centered. I realize, okay, this is why he's saying it, because he's very successful already in what he's doing. He has 30 to 40 apartments that he rents out, and he also has employees in his real estate agent business, and he's doing well. He's one of the top real estate agents in the city. However, he still says that he wished he got started with self-publishing several years ago. And the reason he's saying that is not because it's too late to start with self-publishing. It's more so that he sees the opportunities. And if you know my story, then I wanted to make passive income, and I wanted to make passive income online. And I wanted to de-link my time from making money, because I was working with cold calls, and my time was directly linked. If I didn't make calls, I didn't make money. But now, as I'm taking this walk, people are buying my books, and when we're sleeping, people are buying our books. So we have the ultimate freedom, which is time and location freedom. And we also have the freedom to work on something that we're passionate about, if we so choose. So when it comes to location freedom, some examples from my own life recently. I was in Dubai, and we're in April now, and already I've been to 3 different countries, being able to work in every single one of them, because all I need is an internet connection. And when it comes to the time, and also one more thing is, you get the freedom to choose what you want to work on. You're your own boss, so you decide what you want to work on, which book, what project. And that is also something that I've taken for granted. Let me cross another bridge. So in many ways, self-publishing, it's hard to beat, I think. And of course, the market, you might say, oh, it's too late. But the way I see it is, if there will be people that will be buying books, then there will be publishers that will be making money from the books. And if you study Amazon and you study the way they operate their business, then you know that they care about the customers. So if we align ourselves with the customers and with their rules, and we do what is best for the customers, and ideally we build a brand, then we're aligned with what Amazon wants. So even if other publishers that have some short-term tactics come along, we're still able to win in the long run, because if you could produce books like the top publishers produce books, then eventually it makes sense that you'll get similar results. So let's keep talking a little bit about freedom, because that very much fills my heart with gratitude, at least. And I think that if you've been in a situation where you've had to have other people telling you where to go or what to do, then you know how valuable this type of freedom is. For example, my friend, one of the things he mentions is he often has a headache at the end of the day because there's stress and people are complaining, and that is something that leads to stress, obviously. So with self-publishing, we're not in direct contact with the customers. They reach out to Amazon if they have an issue with the shipping, for example. So I think that that is very valuable. And in my own journey, for example, 3-4 years ago, I had an old friend reach out and ask me if I wanted to start training with him Muay Thai. And I had an idea that I wanted to fight, but he lived in another city 1 hour away from me. So I had to invest 2 hours during the day to travel to him, but I knew it was worth it because he's one of the best, and I want to learn from the best. So I traveled and I was able to make it happen. And that is something that you can do with self-publishing. You can have the freedom to pursue other things that you want to do. For example, I became a personal trainer. I started my own gym, and let's say you're into art. Maybe you can start art classes or yoga classes or whatever it is that fills your heart up. You can do that when you have achieved freedom. And it doesn't only need to be something unrelated to your books. I think the best thing you can do is if you're able to use your passion in your books. So for example, let's say you're into yoga, then you create yoga books, and then you collect the email addresses, and that may lead to them coming to your live yoga classes or online yoga courses, or maybe you're giving away your book in your yoga classes that creates instant authority. So there are a lot of opportunities with self-publishing, and I believe that content and creating content in any form is aligning with the future, be it via videos, audios. So for example, you got audiobooks, written form, ebooks, paperbacks, everything like that I think is on the rise. So I think that self-publishing, if you're into self-publishing, you've already won. One thing I encourage you to do is to celebrate the milestones. So for example, my friend, he showed me a screenshot when he made $4, his first $4 in May 2023. And then of course he made almost $18,000 in December the same year. But along the way he celebrated the first $100, the first $1,000. Everything like that is it almost feels better in the beginning. So that's why it's so fun for me to be a part of his journey, because I get to see how happy this is making him, and he is very grateful, and that gratefulness or gratitude is spreading to me as well. And I get reminded that self-publishing, this was the right choice, and I've struggled to see anything that is as good or that provides as much freedom. And it's also that you can integrate it into an already existing business, or you can use it as a stepping stone, or you can have it as your only business if that's what you want. So it's also the fact that you get to learn a lot. You get to learn about many different topics as you're doing the research, and you also get to learn about persuasion. For example, when you want people to buy your books, you have to give them a reason to buy your books. And you also need to understand your customers. You need to understand why, what is it that they're looking for in the book. And what you think initially that they want might not be what they want. So that's why research is so important, and doing research, that's something that you can apply to other businesses as well. So you're building a lot of skills. For example, managing people, that is a super valuable skill that you will get to develop with self-publishing. I remember one lesson for me was that I had to accept that most people are the way that they are, and it's not my job to try to change them. For example, I would rather hire an A player from the start and perhaps pay a little bit more, and instead of having to develop a C player and try to make them into A player, because some people, they're more wired to make excuses, and something shows up and then the next week something else shows up. But then on the other hand, you have other people which never make excuses, and they take self-accountability, and you get to appreciate when you find these people and you want to keep them. You want to do the best you can to work with them, and then eventually you get to help them on their journey. You get to teach them, but also help them provide for their own families. So what you're doing with your business, depending on how big you want to make it, it can also help change other people's lives and make their lives better. So this video has been a little bit all over the place, but the main message is that self-publishing, it's a great opportunity, I think, and I think that people are going to still continue to buy books and read books, even though things will change. In 8 years, a lot of things have changed, but what we need to do is adapt. And I think that if we as self-publishers, we help each other and we always think about what is best for the customers, then we will be here in the long run. So that's my message for today. Enjoy the journey, celebrate the wins along the way, and let's take our self-publishing businesses to the next level. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you want more videos like this.